Did you know that 10% of the population will experience plantar fasciitis within their lifetime? And yet, most people have no idea that choosing the right or the wrong shoe can dramatically impact their symptoms. As a foot and ankle specialist, I've treated thousands of patients, read hundreds of medical articles on plantar fasciitis, and I've tested every ASICS shoe on the market. But here's what's really surprised me. No one really knows what type of plantar fasciitis they have before they choose the shoes. So what are the three types of plantar fasciitis? Well, one is compression plantar fasciitis, or when you initiate contact with the ground on your heel, that's when you get the most symptoms. The other type is stretch type plantar fasciitis, so when you go to push off, it stretches the plantar fasciitis and that's when you get your worst type of symptoms. Or it's possible to have both of these symptoms combined. So with that in mind, does that mean if you've got compression type plantar fasciitis that you should buy the most cushioned shoe on the market? Well, not always. If you think about it, if you have a really soft cushioned shoe, it can increase the amount that the foot and the intrinsic muscles and the plantar fasciitis have to work because they don't have a stable structure underneath their foot. And when we think of the opposite end of the spectrum, some people will talk about whether barefoot shoes can cure plantar fasciitis. And while there's lots of medical articles that highlight the benefit of barefoot shoes for increasing the amount of muscle capacity and structure in the intrinsic muscles of the foot, all these studies are done in healthy patients, and clinically I've seen that those of you with really high levels of symptoms, if you wear barefoot shoes, it tends to exacerbate the symptoms. So it's not to say that they're a good option later on down the line, but when your symptoms are really painful, having minimal support under your foot has the potential to make symptoms worse. So how do you know which ASICS shoe is right for your plantar fasciitis? I'm going to break down 3 of the key models so you have a better idea of which will work best for you. First of all, I'm going to look at the Asics Gel-Kayano 32. It has the FF Blast Eco Cushioning, which is a really plush cushioning, so it feels like you're walking on a cloud. But unique to the shoe is it has an arch support built into it, which presses up into the arch of your foot, providing support throughout the gait cycle, a broad base of support, and some sidewalls to come up and help cradle your foot. So this is more beneficial for stretch type plantar fasciitis, as it really helps to reduce the workload underneath the arch of the foot. Then we have a different shoe in the ASICS Gel-Nimbus 27. Now this is a shoe packed with loads of cushioning. It's got an aggressive geometry, which means that it moves you from the back to the front of the shoe very quickly, and it's a relatively stable shoe, so we classify it as a stable neutral shoe. So this is an excellent option for compression type plantar fasciitis, one because of the type of cushioning underneath your heel, but also the aggressive geometry of the heel helps it transfer you quickly onto the midfoot and the forefoot to push off. So it's an excellent option for compression plantar fasciitis. And then finally we've got the Asics GT-2000 version 14, which is completely different than version 12 and 13 in terms of it has a medial support throughout the shoe, so it tries to push you onto the outer aspect of your foot, therefore shifting the load away from that classic painful medial aspect of the heel. So those of you who need the weight shifted off because it's really quite painful, or you have a stretch type plantar fasciitis, it can work for both symptoms. However, it's important to keep in mind with this type of shoe, if you have a history of ankle instability or peroneal tendonitis, it does make the outer aspect of the ankle work harder to tolerate the amount of increased load on that side. So 3 contrasting shoes. However, it's important to keep in mind what type of symptoms you have. I've got links to them in the description below if you want to check out the latest price on Amazon. If you have any questions on them, please drop in the comment section below. I can't give advice on individual cases, but I'll try to give as much information as possible. Otherwise, if you found the video helpful or interesting, like and share and subscribing makes a massive difference to the channel.